Good morning. Can you guys hear me? Put in the comments if you can hear me. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Good morning. Good morning. Hi, is it Yashika? Good morning. How are you? Hi, Wendy. How are you? Hi, Lynn. Good morning. Good morning. Hi, Nina. How are you doing, Wendy? Are you having a good morning? I'm going to pause you guys for 1 second. I'm going to be right back. I'll be right back. Give me 1 second. Okay, sorry. I had to go see what the dogs are barking at. How are you guys doing? I don't do, Yashika, I don't do health or legal advice or pregnancy or anything like that. I am doing well, Nina. How are you doing? Could you hear the dogs? My big dog, she's so loud. Even the little one's only like 6 pounds. She's super loud too. Hi, Leo. How are you? All right, we're going to do no contact in separation. If you're in separation with your person, you want to know what's their feelings, what are their intentions, what are their next actions. We're going to find out. At the end, we'll do ask a question, get an answer. Okay. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Good morning, Libby. How are you? We're going to start with Aries first. All right, Aries. No contact in separation. What's going on with your person? Hi, Steven. How are you? Aries, no contact in separation. You know, Aries, this person, they're well aware that they were talking to you for personal gain. So you could be somebody of status, somebody who maybe you have a lot of sparkle. Maybe you're somebody who has a really strong light and you're somebody that brings in people really easily. You are a fire sign. And the truth is this person is taking a break from you because you weren't giving to them in the way that they needed. They were in it for personal gain. This could be a Scorpio. We've got the death card. So if you're expecting for this person to come back and have another cycle with them, I don't. Yeah, I see this person gets really distracted by the next best thing. People who give them a lot of attention, people who maybe kind of boost their confidence or boost their ego, feed into their ego a lot. And they seen that you stop doing that. And because of that, they're like, okay, I'm just going to pull back and I'm going to go find someone else. So you can go with an earth sign or a Scorpio. So I don't see this person returning. All right, let's get you an affirmation of advice. What is the advice for Aries? What's your affirmation? Acceptance. Having the confidence to accept opportunities and resources in order to succeed. Attract what you need when you're ready to go to the next chapter in your life. So you may find that you do give your light to a lot of people and you may have to be more aware. What is your intuition telling you of someone's intentions with you? Because maybe they don't have the greatest intentions. And maybe you suspected that with this person. All right, let's move on to Taurus. All right, Taurus, no contact in separation with you and your person. What's going on with your person, Taurus? No contact in separation, Taurus. Well, they're ignoring their intuition. This is somebody you went on a few dates with. This person wears a lot of masks, and their intuition is telling them that they should not have guilted you. Did you pay for the dates when you guys went out? They are somebody that maybe guilted you into paying for something or taking care of things if you guys went out a few times. Their intuition told them they shouldn't be doing that, but they did anyway. That's why this person has pulled back. They've parted ways because you've taken care of things financially, and now they don't want to waste any more time. They got what they wanted. So this isn't a person who, yeah, they completely ignore their intuition. And it looks like could be a water sign, a Taurus, or a Cancer sign. This person is going in a different direction. They're looking for someone else they can go on dates with, someone else who wants to take them to dinner or pay for their things. And I don't see there's a lot of hope and optimism with this person. They could have Aquarius in their chart too. You maybe suspected that about this person, that they were just maybe a user. Maybe they told you they had a lot of relationships and they said, oh, my ex this, my ex is that, and all their exes always use them. That might have been your red flag of, hey, I think this person's a user. All right, let's get you some advice, Taurus. What's the advice for Taurus? Hi, Lonnie. Hi, Liz. How are you doing? Hi, Cheryl. Good morning. Discipline is your advice. Okay, it says, stay true to yourself and live authentically without trying to be someone you're not. I understand that people's opinions of you are not going to be important. So make sure you don't let other people tell you what you should do, okay? Accept making yourself the priority and happiness. And don't seek other people's approval. Sometimes if you take care of someone or you take care of items, like maybe you did pay for dinner or maybe you went for ice cream and you paid for it, maybe you feel like you had to do that. Don't do that. You need to take care of yourself first. Don't let somebody take advantage of your kindness for weakness. All right, Gemini. Hi, Sam. Hi, Lisa. Gemini. 8:14. All right, Gemini, if you're in no contact in separation with your person, what are their feelings? What are their intentions? What are their next actions, Gemini? You bruised this person's ego. You said something and now this person's pulled back. They're thinking, oh, you know what? Maybe I'll just be happier alone. Well, it does look like they are trying to go towards somebody else. The problem is it's not going to work it's not going to work in their favor. It's going to actually backfire. They're going to be unhappy and then they're going to want to try to come back around. They're going to circle back around, and what bruised their ego, they're going to try to justify and say, oh, maybe it wasn't as bad as what I thought it was. Let me go back to Gemini and see what Gemini's up to. Yeah, they're definitely going to make an attempt to return. It's inevitable. This person doesn't lack confidence. There's a lot of insecure people in the reading already this morning. They have a lot of unrealistic expectations. Yeah, they could have Leo in their chart. They could have fire in their chart. They could be a Sag or Scorpio. This is somebody who has a lot of internal sadness, that their happiness is invigorated through other people. And instead of really working on their own happiness internally, they take opportunities to go towards people that they feel will give them happiness. And then they realize, oh, well, they said this about me. So that doesn't make my ego feel good. That makes my ego feel sad. So then they run to the next person. So it's almost like saying something about them kind of cracks their ego a little bit. And they don't want that. They want to put on a facade or an opportunity of, you know what, I'm stronger than who you think I am. It's all like, it feels like a statue. Like they don't want to break. Could be dealing with a Leo or an air sign. So I don't see this person going to be worth your investment once they do come back around. But you have free will. All right, let's get one card of advice for Gemini. What is the advice for Gemini placements? Growth mindset for you. It says, wholeheartedly embrace a growth mindset, perceiving challenges as invaluable opportunities to learn and grow personally. Possess a drive to enhance yourself, your skills, and seek avenues to expand your capabilities. This is you being able to grow through the experience. You know, every experience we have with anybody is a chance for our soul to grow. That's the whole point of why we're here, is to learn lessons and to grow and evolve. And you may have to expand your mindset from this experience. All right, Cancer. Hi, Pam. Hi, Samantha. Cancer, 1056. All right, Cancer placements. No contact and separation. What's going on with Cancer and their person? How you doing, Pam? How you doing, Samantha? Cancer, no contact and separation. Okay, well, this person, Cancer, this person thinks that you are toxic, and that's why they've cut ties with you. They think that you were using them to fill some type of void, and they got a sign, they got a synchronicity, maybe they heard a song that resonated that said, go off away from Cancer and don't invest any further. This could be somebody you have a past with or you don't have a past with. Yeah, it does look like they have dropped the idea. They're in self-protection mode. Their peace has been disrupted because they desperately feel like something happened between the two of you that they felt was toxic. Now, what is this toxicity they're talking about? Okay, they think you don't care about them. They think that you're somebody who maybe does have other options. You just tell them you don't have other options. They're a little bit restless or stressed, thinking that you are pursuing other people, and they're trusting themselves that that could be the case. Yeah, they're really angry about it too. Could be dealing with an air sign, an earth sign, a water sign, an air sign, maybe even a Capricorn. They're kind of in self-protection mode right now. So they think, they're making the assumption that maybe you had a conversation about people you talked to. They think that it's romantic, but maybe it is platonic. They don't believe that. They think that there's some toxicity there. All right, let's get a card of advice. What is the advice? What's the affirmation for Cancer placements? What do you need to know? What do you need to hear? Good morning, Marta. How are you? Hope you have a beautiful day too, Pam. Cancer placements. What's your advice? Respecting boundaries. It says, be able to have personal boundaries in relationships, mutual respect, and trust. Mindful of your delicate connections within humans. Navigate your interactions with grace and compassion. And this could be that this person felt like you overstepped boundaries with connections with other people. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. Either way, that was their perception of it. So you're being asked to understand what is respectable boundaries that you feel in a relationship, because maybe it's not a mirror of what this person feels. All right, let's move on to Leo. 1337. Leo, if you're in no contact in separation with your person, let's see what's going on. Leo, no contact in separation. What's going on? I'm hearing that NSYNC song. I want you back. Da, 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 da. All right, Leo, what's going on here? What is this? Well, somebody's heart is opening up. They're going to message you. They're going to call you and say they want to meet up. This is somebody you know to be emotionally detached, and they're going to tell you that they're not going to bring any more drama into your life. So this person could be 51, 54, 45. They're overwhelmed with their feelings. All right, well, why did this person go away? Why is there silence here? They're emotionally detached. Okay, so the Star, the Hermit, could be dealing with an Aquarius, a Virgo, Queen of Cups. They're emotionally detached. This person is somebody who maybe they don't have a purpose. What is this? Because their heart isn't open. Yeah, they could be somebody who's really paranoid too. They are lacking motivation or drive in their life. And part of being able to balance your energy out and your emotions out is having a purpose in life. And this person doesn't. So because of that, they could have felt overwhelmed and they maybe pulled back. It does look like their heart is starting to open up because of the dramatic event of whatever's transpired between the two of you. So it looks like this is somebody who wants emotional security in the long term. Are they going to do the work to get there? Let's see here. Because they say no more drama. The letter J or A could be significant. Okay, well, they may not have the strength and courage to go the distance, but they're struggling with their emotions. This is somebody who has very low energy also. They're in a very low vibration. Yeah. They also lack planning. to be able to overcome these emotions. So they're going to come back around. They're going to want to have a conversation. But I still see that this is somebody who they want to open their heart space up, but I don't see that they've done the work. All right, let's get some advice for Leo. All right, what's the affirmation? What's the advice for Leo? What is it you need to know? What do you need to hear? Leo placements. Letting love in. Open your heart to the abundant flow of love, allowing it to freely enter and radiate from within. Deserving of love in all aspects of your life. So maybe this person needs to be shown how to be loved. Maybe you need to wrap your light, your love towards this person and have compassion, maybe even empathy in the situation. Of course, you have free will. You don't want to. All right, Virgo, 1633. All right, Virgo. No contact in separation with you and your person. What is their feelings? What are their intentions? What are their next actions? Virgo placements. Virgo. Your person wants to be chased, Virgo. They are hopeful that, what is this hopeful energy? They're hoping that the two of you can get on the same page. They don't want to be single. They don't want to pursue other options. All right, well, why did your person run away? Let's see here, Virgo. They don't want to also stand in your shadow. Okay, what is this? Virgo. Yeah, you could be somebody who is a rising star. Maybe you're very successful with that star energy. You could be somebody who really knows your direction or path in life. Maybe you have a strong faith. We also have Virgo energy, Aquarius energy. This person's been doing some soul searching. Looks like they have been ignoring their internal call. Maybe you're somebody who has your life in order. This person does not. This person is really struggling with getting their life in order. They want to get on the same page, but they feel like they've been living in your shadows. That's why they pull back. Yeah, this person impulsively maybe pull back from you. It could be that this person, the experience they've had in their life maybe has been different than your life. And they're hoping to get on the same page, but they're not on the same page with you right now. Yeah, looks like they've been thinking a lot about what they need to accept. Maybe it's somebody who talks a lot, but they don't really do anything action-wise. That could be why their life is stuck. Yeah, they're frustrated with things have been delayed in their life, but maybe things are going good for you. So are they going to come back? Yeah, they are going to come back, but there might be some strings attached with this reconciliation when it comes to getting on the same page. So you might want to be aware of that. Earth sign, fire sign, air sign, Libra, Virgo, or Aquarius. All right. What is the best piece of advice for Virgo placement? What is it you need to know? What is it you need to hear, Virgo? Hi, Sam. You're Virgo. Hi, Farrell. Is it Farrell? I always forget. Sorry about that. All right. What is the advice for Virgo? The richness of the universe. Trust opportunities and resources that are going to support the goals that you have. So trust that everything happens when, where, and why it's supposed to. Trust and have faith that everything will work the way it's supposed to. All right, Libra. Hi, Beach. Good morning. Libra, 1933. No contact in separation, Libra. What's going on with your person's feelings, intentions, next actions? Hi, Angie. How are you? Double heart, Sam. All right, Libra. Your person's accepting something major that they've been doing a lot of self-reflection on their life, and they're accepting that they want to move on from this. There could be another opportunity. It doesn't have to be romantic. It could be platonic. It could be a job. But there's something else that they have been reflecting on, and they're accepting that, you know what, if you guys were in a relationship, they're accepting that you're an ex now. 47 or 74 could be significant. Let's take a look here, Libra. Yeah, this person was lacking a lot of happiness or inner joy in their life, and they felt like they needed to make a shift. It's kind of like When you try to force a puzzle piece to slot in your life and it doesn't work, you have to shift or move. They feel like by moving away from this relationship, it's allowing them to no longer be distracted with what they need to do in their life. It does look like it is building up their confidence. They're feeling inspired to be more diversified with some type of opportunity. It does look like the devil is coming out in reverse. So this person doesn't want to resent you and they don't want you to resent them. They feel like now is the time for them to make this major shift or this major change. And, you know, you are divine counterparts. You probably know that, but you're not in alignment. We've got one upright, and then we've got, this one's actually in reverse. So they know that you are somebody significant. However, they know that they don't have the will or the drive to get in the same place you are because they need to do something else. It's kind of like they're on their own journey right now. You could be dealing with a fire sign, a Capricorn, a Leo, or a Pisces. All right, let's get some advice. What is the advice for Libra? What's the best piece of advice for Libra? What's the advice? Respecting boundaries, understanding that everybody has their own personal boundaries that they need to put in place when it comes to relationships. And this person has something they're soulfully going through or being pulled towards with a different opportunity. It doesn't feel like it was romantic. It feels more platonic. It could be like a job or a living situation. And you have to be able to respect the boundaries that they've put in place. All right, Scorpio 2207. No contact in separation, Scorpio. What's going on with your person? Hi, Mitchell. I'm married, leave me alone. What? I don't know what that means. You're good, Angie? Okay, good. All right, Scorpio. No contact in separation with you and your person. What's going on here? Your person is prioritizing their money, their career, their purpose in life. They've already considered all their options. They're sorry that they hurt you. They're sorry that they went no contact. They're sorry they were trying to figure out what to say to you. And by the time they were in a conclusion of trying to tell you, it had been maybe 4 days or 4 weeks. Some of you, it's been 4 months. They were scared to tell you what they were doing. Okay, why is that? Why didn't they just be honest and said that they needed to get their priorities in order? They were afraid you would be mean to them. They were afraid you would have been cruel. You would have maybe tried to manipulate them to stay with you. They knew in the long term it wasn't going to work. Wherever their career is, whatever their purpose in life, maybe their money, whatever they were doing, it just wasn't working. And they were trying to figure out how to tell you, hey, this relationship isn't working because I also have a lot of things over here that are not working also. Yeah, they know that they kind of left you like a cliffhanger, like to be continued. Maybe they said, I'll call you back, and then they never called you back. Or they read the text message, but they never responded. They know that they left you kind of hanging. Yeah, it looks like they may even check, they've withdrawn, but they may even check in with tarot readings. You may sometimes intermittently still feel this person's energy. That's why. They could be a Cancer sign, a water sign, a Virgo, or a Gemini, or a Taurus. They could just be emanating those energies. All right, let's get you a card of advice. What is the best piece of advice? What is the guidance for Scorpio? Hi, Sean. Self-care. Self-care, self-care, self-care. It says prioritizing self-care and your own well-being is going to lead you to success. It's essential for your goals to live a fulfilling and balanced life, to see your highest potential. And self-care also is self-respect, putting boundaries in place when you feel that your emotions are all over the place. Doing things for yourself is going to be really important right now. All right, Sagittarius, 2446. 2446. All right, no contact in separation, Sagittarius and their person. What's going on here? Sagittarius. Well, your person's not been honest. They know that they're probably going to regret leaving you hanging and not giving you a resolution, but they're trying to work on their energy placement in their life. They're trying to make positive changes, and there was some hurt or disappointment that they never really felt before, And because of that, they maybe said, oh, I'll call you back, but then they never called you back. Or, yeah, let's meet up next week, and then they never showed up. There's something about this person abandoned the situation, and they know that they're going to regret the way they left things off. But it looks like this person just didn't make plans accordingly, to tell you the truth, that they were moving in a different direction. Yeah, they were ignoring your phone calls. Maybe you're calling and text, say, hey, I'm here. Where are you at? Why are you not showing up? They were completely ignoring you. And they do regret that. They know that they created probably an insecurity in you. They know that they made you feel like you weren't important or you weren't special. Why did this person lie? Well, they were kind of resistant to tell you that they wanted to move away from the situation. They just felt like maybe there was too much emotional baggage between the two of you. There was a lot of unfinished business that wasn't getting resolved. So they just kind of left it. All right. It could be an air sign, a Cancer, a Gemini, a Virgo. No, I'm sorry. Libra, an Aries, or Sag, or Capricorn. All right. Let's get you some advice, Sagittarius. What is the best piece of advice? What is the guidance you need to know? You need to hear. What's the advice for Sagittarius? No contact and separation. Boldness. Have the courage to embark upon whatever your dreams and goals are, and do not allow this to hinder your progress. So if you've been working on something, and because of this situation, you're like, oh man, it's really taking me the wind out of me, and I feel like knocked out of place. Balance your energy out. Go do something to exert the energy. Do some journaling, do some meditation, but don't allow this situation with this person to impact what you've been boldly working on or trying to pursue. All right, Capricorn. 2725. All right, Capricorn. No contact in separation with you and your person. What's going on with Capricorn's person? Capricorn. They are taking some time alone. They feel like this relationship, this situation is no longer serving them. They're not really willing to commit to something. They can't or they won't commit. And that's why they've taken a step back. They're spending time in isolation. Could be dealing with an Aquarius. This is somebody who feels like it's unfortunate the way they left it. However, they are calm with accepting that this is what they want. Could be dealing with a Sagittarius. This is somebody who realizes they need to find something more meaningful in their life, and they just don't want to tell you that. They don't want to be honest with you, saying, hey, you know what? We were in alignment. It was working out, but now I just don't feel it. They just don't want to commit to being honest with you. Yeah, look at the Seven of Swords. So they just kind of ran away and strategically just allow themselves to trick themselves out of a spot in your life. Could be an air sign, Aquarius, Capricorn, Sagittarius, or an Aquarius. All right, let's get a card of advice for Capricorn. What is the advice? What is the guidance? What do you need to know? What do you need to hear, Capricorn? Inner child. Connect with your inner child. Nurture the playful and creative side. Allow yourself to have fun and enjoy life without any judgment or any criticism. Allow yourself to be free. And this is also getting into your inner child, doing something fun and creative is going to help you release feelings and emotions that you may have pent up. So connecting with that is going to be important. All right, Aquarius, 2937. All right, Aquarius, no contact in separation. What's going on with you and your person? You're welcome, Wendy. Aquarius. No contact in separation. So this person has a lingering ex that they told you they were not going to forgive this ex, but it does look like this ex and them share a purpose. Maybe they have children together, maybe they have property still together. Either way, it does look like this person's ex told them they love them, they want them, and they've asked for forgiveness. So it looks like that's what your person has done. They've moved towards an ex, somebody that could be at a physical distance from them. They did it in secrecy. Maybe they moved all of a sudden in the middle of the night and you didn't even know it. You're like, where'd they go? They're just gone. They left. They left their place where they were living. It's because they wanted to go and work it out with whoever this ex is. Could be somebody that lives at a distance. Could be Virgo, Cancer, Pisces, Virgo again. All right, let's get you some advice. What is the advice for Aquarius? What do you need to know? What do you need to hear? Hi, Libby. You're Aquarius? All right, let's see your advice. All right, Aquarius, what's your advice? Harnessing your focus. Concentrate on what is your goals and your priorities. Allow minimum distractions to be present in the moment. This is going to help you be more productive. So instead of focusing on what happened in the past with this person, stay in the present moment. It's going to be significant. All right, Pisces, 3120. Pisces, 3120. Sorry if I'm hurrying. I have appointments I have to go to, so. All right, Pisces, no contact and separation with your person. What's going on? Well, nothing is changing. When you least expect it, this person is a familiar or deja vu lesson. Okay, well, this person had a lot of disruption, it looks like, in their life. They could be 23, 32, 43. Yeah, there's no contact. This person is indecisive about what they want because they haven't resolved certain lessons or certain issues within themselves. They're very resistant to change. And if you're wondering, is this person going to do the work and they're going to change? I don't see that happening. Now, they have been kind of going back and forth on what they're going to do. It does look like they will potentially in the next 5 days or 5 weeks come back and try to make amends. But here's the thing is nothing has changed with this person. And you may feel deja vu all over again. Yeah, you're going to feel like, oh, I did want them back. They did come back. But now that they've come back, it feels very familiar that nothing has changed. All right, there could be an earth sign. They might come back during Mercury retrograde, which starts on the 26th. Could be an air sign, a water sign, Aquarius, a Pisces, or a Sagittarius. All right, let's get your card of advice. All right, what is the advice? What is it you need to know? What is it you need to hear? What's your advice? Oops. Release control. It says, surrender the need for control and gracefully yield to the flow of life. Trusting the natural rhythm of the universe, embrace the unknown, and welcome the way life is going to unfold. So instead of the resistance, allow things to unfold the way they're supposed to, and what's meant for you will not pass you by. Okay, I've got 6 minutes. I'm going to do ask a question, get an answer real quick, and then I got to go. All right. You moved on. Good job, Lynn. Yep, it's hard. All right. Have a lovely day, Nina. I got 5 minutes. If you guys want to ask any questions, I will answer questions for 5 minutes. Ask a question and answer if you're new here. Just put your question in the comments. Did Rich and Sierra sleep together in August? Yes, that is the truth. All right. Samantha, will he be coming over tonight? Yes, he's going to reach out to you. You're welcome, Nina. Have a good day. You're welcome, Angie. Beach. Is the truth going to come out? Yeah, but it's not going to come out until after you leave the situation. Is DM coming to me soon? He's trying to make whoever DM is trying to make a decision, him or her. Is he going to change, Nina? I do see there is inspiration to heal, but he's got a lot of restrictions or boundaries within himself that he needs to work on. Until he restricts those boundaries and puts that down, could be the ego, could be the pride, could just be some type of insecurity, then that will happen. Is your neighbor going to call you, Carmina? No, your neighbor's holding back. 4 minutes. Still waiting on your secret of Ireland. Don't wait for anybody. Just wander through life, and if it happens, it happens. What's going on with the person you're pursuing? This person's really happy. They're a little bit emotionally immature, but they do have a lot of burdens and responsibilities that you don't know about behind the scenes. Angie. Samantha, are you going to have a serious relationship? No. I think it's going to be really stressful. It's going to be a little bit chaotic. Why? This person may not know how to love properly. They may struggle with love. They could be on the struggle bus of figuring out what love really is. Wendy, will I be financially stable soon? Wendy, the only way you're going to do that is you need to cut something out of your budget. You either need to increase your income or you need to decrease your debt. If you can do that, I do see it's inevitable. Your finances will definitely grow and evolve, but you need to have a practical plan. There's something that is, it's almost like a black lurking shadow of something that is draining your ability to become stable. Could be a person. Bianca, are things going to get better? Yes, you're closing out a cycle. When you close out that cycle and realize you sacrificed a lot, you see things from a different perspective. Things start to pick up again for you. Samantha, am I going to be staying with my current career? I see you need to hold on to that career at least through April, excuse me. There is going to be an opportunity for you to let that go. You may have to think about, there's an opportunity that may require for you to travel. It's going to take you risking or taking a leap of faith in a different direction, but I think you will actually enjoy it better. You'll be more happy, but you need to wait until April before you make that decision. Do not make that decision during Mercury retrograde because you will be sad if you do. Don't make any major life decisions during those time periods. All right, I got 2 minutes. Nina, what is next for you in the future? Are you addicted to being funny? Maybe you want to do comedy or something. Maybe you're somebody who should do like TikToks of like funny anecdotes or something. There's something that you're really good at and you're obsessed with doing, but you're not promoting it. Your confidence isn't fully there. You need to do that. Focus on the vision, the knowledge of who would need to see what you have to say. Melissa, will you find happiness again? Yeah, but here's the problem, Melissa, is I see you find happiness once you let go of other people's judgment of what happiness looks like for you. You may have friends or family that have too much of an opinion of what your happiness should look like. And you're needing to know happiness is different for different people. Some people are happy because of money. Some people are happy because of emotion. Some people are happy because of just waking up in the morning. So you need to really stop looking at other people and their judgment of what your happiness truly should be. When you do, you will feel happy waking up with whatever it is. Marta, will my ex get his karma? I'm hearing slow burn, slow and steady. Yeah. When he least expects it. That's usually when it happens. Hi, Jonetta. Yeah, I'm on a little bit earlier today. I've got appointments today, so thank you for joining the live. But I do need to go. Thank you, everybody who joined the live. Sorry it was so quick. I just needed to get the live done. I have stuff I got to do. I'll answer one question, Jonah. What do you need to know? You need to be really strong and passionate to work on your confidence. If you're already feeling confident, become a little bit obsessed with maintaining that confidence. All right, that's what I got. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll do, I think, you versus them tomorrow. So everybody have a beautiful day and happy Monday. Bye.